Does anything sum up Jimmy Garoppolo and injuries like a 3-tweet thread from Adam Schefter?
Where he's using like all the characters available to him.
I mean, holy majoli. God, Jimmy.
So here's what Schefter wrote. Jimmy Garoppolo is expected to soon undergo shoulder surgery that would sideline him until the summer. It's not expected to impact his trade status, and Garoppolo is still likely to be traded this month, per sources. Garoppolo injured his shoulder during the wildcard win over Dallas, per sources. He does not need thumb surgery for another injury he also played through. Surgery is expected to happen shortly. There is significant interest, quote unquote, in Garoppolo from multiple teams, per sources. Preliminary estimates are that Garoppolo is expected to resume throwing sometime prior to the July 4 holiday. If and when a trade is, I love this word, consummated, Garoppolo would be available to begin working with the new coaching and medical staff.
Did Jimmy, I feel like, did the shoulder injury happen at Dallas? It's all running together now.
That's
obviously
what it says. I don't.
Do you remember it that way? I know the thumb injury obviously happened the Tennessee Thursday night game.
That who was the guy that kept jumping off sides? Didn't he throw Jimmy down?
Oh yeah, and then it came out like the day after the Dallas game, and Kyle said something, but he ended up toughing it out. And remember, he talked about the thumb injury actually hurt more, and turns out Jimmy Garoppolo might as well just be like his toughness scales, Butkus and Nitschke. Clearly, listen, I think a lot of people, including myself, I'm guilty, took jabs. You can't. The guy was fucking battling through some injuries, right? I mean, he really was. You got to give him his respect. And honestly, that you could say that helps just like, the up and down play, but then you could also say, well, he's kind of always hurt. He gets injured a lot. And that's why I said this tweet thread kind of symbolizes the Jimmy Garoppolo experience, because as he says in his second tweet, his other injury, the thumb injury, does not need surgery. It's like, man, you got a lot. He got multiple injuries nursing at one time.
Yeah, it's double-edged sword. Like, we know how tough he is because of all the times he gets hurt. And, it makes me think again, like if the 49ers did not have another quarterback option right now, if Trey Lance wasn't on their roster, what would they be doing right now at quarterback? Would they be running it back with him? We don't have to spend too much time talking about it because it's not the situation that they're in. But, yeah, they'd be talking about rolling it back another season with a quarterback that gets hurt. Colin asked, can you tell the difference in play between hurt Jimmy and not hurt Jimmy? Well, it depends on the injury. But I would say late in the season, no. I could not really tell the difference. I thought he threw the ball pretty well.
Well, Guy, when he had the throw against Tennessee, which I think is fair to say that was the worst throw of his season, just in terms of the flight. I mean, he made some terrible throws to other players on the other team, but just the wobble and how high it went, and it ultimately cost them the game. I think looking back, that was a specific injury. The problem was in the heat of the moment, that just felt like a Jimmy throw. You wouldn't be, I bet his thumb shattered. You'd be like, oh my God, Jimmy.
How did there end up being some soccer shootout where like one of the goalies ended up in the shootout? Maybe he's good at kicking it. Did you see that video?
Missed that one. EPL?
Couldn't tell you, but the guy lines it up and booms a rocket, not even close to the goal. It is like so high above the goal, right? That the goalie
like DeAndre Jordan's pass the other night. You see that?
Yeah. Like the goalie in net he's like a right fielder when somebody hits a bomb. He doesn't even turn around. And somehow it ended up in my timeline like, this reminds you anything? And immediately there was like a Jimmy Garoppolo highlight. But that seemed inappropriate. Yeah, I mean, I wonder why is it March 1 that he's getting the surgery? Did he need some vacation time?
Yeah, I don't know. Vacation on, you get hurt on company time. You want to rehab on company time?
The general, Shaquille O'Neal. Yeah.
So I don't know. It's a hell of a question.
If you were acquiring Jimmy Garoppolo, would this make you feel good about him?
Well, do you want to dive into the trade value? You want to just
anything else to be said about the fact that he's getting surgery? I mean, here's what I'll say about the fact he's getting surgery. Before we get to the value, I do think this complicates things a little bit. Now, maybe it's not a lot. Maybe the surgery's minor. Maybe we get the surgery done and here's the doctor says it and you check him out and it's no biggie. But right now, right this second, when I pick up the phone, I'm John Lynch and I call, whoever. And I call the Steelers, Kevin Colbert on his farewell tour. Like there is a complication here, which is I'm trying to trade what is currently a hurt player, right?
Well, it's like, it's one thing for Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady to poo-poo OTAs. Most players need OTAs to improve. Let's use the Steelers as an example. They're going to have a lot of new parts. They're going to have a new quarterback. If it's Jimmy Garoppolo, you would like to, I don't know, throw at the wide receivers, the tight end, and Najee Harris, right? Wouldn't you like them to just start building a rapport? Well, based on Schefter, it's after the greatest holiday of the year, July 4th. And let's face it, you can't do anything over that time. So they wouldn't even be able to start throwing till training camp. You're acquiring a guy that is, you can tell me mental reps all you want, but Jimmy Garoppolo, mental reps, he needs physical reps. Mentally, he can pick up the offense fast. But not being able to throw at OTA, an ideal situation. To me, it's definitely a blow position. Now, this information, who would want this out? Does it even matter?
Well, it's information that has to get out, right? It's information that everybody involved in a trade would have to have. You're not getting it over on anybody. They're finding it out one way or the other. Better to be out in front of it than have it disrupt the market because people start finding out about it late.
Was it the Padres GM a couple years ago that traded all those people and didn't tell about an injury?
Yeah, was that in the Drew Pomeranz deal? I remember the Giants when they acquired. Who was it? Who did they get? And they sent Sam Dyson, and it turned out Sam Dyson was hurt. But it was definitely Preller, I think, and the Padres had that situation too.
Yeah, it's impossible in football, especially in the offseason, right? Because he would have to go to their facility and pass a physical. And, remember a couple years ago when COVID first hit, it was how are they going to conduct free agency? And nothing was official till later, during training camp when everyone could check in. This one, he would have to go to whatever team traded for him. And if he shows up in a sling, it's just not possible to do business that way.